friend and I were speaking about a shift in the energies. Okay, the moon cycles and the nodes of the moon. They have a lunarian, a diurnal energy. It's a yin to yang. So it's a natural progression. Something is born and it grows into maximum expression and it fades. Right now the north node is at, hold on, let me just do something. Alright, where are we here? That one. Edit. It's going to happen in Knoxville, Tennessee, exactly at that time. My perspective. But wherever you are, it's going to be specific to your longitudinal or latitudinal location on this holographic petri dish in some kid's science lab in a cosmic universe. Beyond comprehension, yet we can find truths in all these limiting beliefs. But I digress. So, Aquarius Leo nodal shift. Let me just pull up the Sag New Moon. Let's do some comparative analysis for communal deduction. Alright, we're putting this in the middle, putting this on the outside. A lot of things, huh? Just look at one thing at a time. That's all you got to do. When you notice patterns, you start to investigate. You follow your intuitive flows, and then you reason through the logic of deduction you have learned in studying systems and a language such as astrology. More specifically Western tropical, more specifically evolutionary astrology, but more specifically non-denominational. Every system has something to teach. And you can go deep into any one system, as deep as you want. So what do I feel today? Today or yesterday, the inside wheel. Sagittarius New Moon. I'm in the moment. I'm not thinking of creating, manifesting, being some kind of future thing. Whatever's happening for me is temperance. It's a tempering of my spirit. For you, it might be something different. Maybe you are manifesting something. Whatever energy is pent up within your psyche that you can find form for in reality, you will. You will always achieve that. The key is within the purity of the creation. Most of it is a slow boil replication, things we're digesting, so we can realize the next expression of that maturation process of our psyche, our expanding of awareness through possibilities rather than limitations, where we project our potential growth into ideology while we resist our own spiritual gain. And that's spiritual suicide. It's a dis-ease in relation to stagnancy Everyone has a different tolerance. Some might have millions of lifetimes worth of tolerance in them. Some are hypersensitive. They get a different game. But rest assured, everyone will know all games eventually. Eternally. So that's some value speak that I hold in perception for a philosophical perspective. That's Sagittarius, what is the higher expression of the meaning, not just the experience and the data itself. How do you compensate for the unknown in a living dynamic language which can allow for growth, transmutation, to transform and to transmute, essentially. Transfat. I mean, we got them all. When I read a chart, first I look at it for me. That's my method. I understand it for me, or a language which makes sense in the moment. The simple things. Then as I get the sense within me, I see it in the world, and I can see the other things happening. And I can relate them to previous expressions, experiences, and sometimes potential future experiences. That's where the temperance of the self finds meaning in this unknown. That's so currently Mars and Venus are the stars of the show. North Node is in Aries, South Node is in Libra. Now, I'm speaking to you. I'm giving you a message of Neptune here. You can see right now Neptune is on the DC. I'm invoking Neptune within you by speaking of these spiritual things, these woo-woo languages. Test the illusion and the delusion, the power of your imagination and the castigation you hold, which restricts your free-flowing fucking thinking, by knowing what real feeling is and not being afraid of it. You gotta live it to know. That's Aries. The lead, the tip of the spear, the pioneering energy. It is fed through the wind, the air of Aquarius, change. The impetus of the toss before the throw, someone is throwing a spear, there is a surge, a conviction within which causes the action. That's Uranus in real life. It cannot be replication. If it is trained, it is not true. Interesting. I just pulled these charts up. You see Neptune is conjunct where the current North Node of Aries is. So I'm speaking of that transformation which is about to happen as the nodes hit Aquarius and Leo. Now, if you will pay attention to Pisces to Leo, that is the working, our unconscious, spiritual potentials into an expression of creative individuality in the face of all this unity and conformity and replication. And with that, you bring that spirit through Virgo into Libra, which is the final transformation of this Piscean energy, which is the relation to existence itself. Seeing yourself as separate yet the same. Having a semblance of reason, whether intuitive or physical, as to a way of being. Able to hold all potentials. So the last bits of the echoes of the past are condensed. They'll be burning through Leo, and we'll be sorting it out, breaking it down as the nodes shift from Aries into Pisces. As that happens, Chiron will be making his way through the third decan of Aries, which is a refinement of the purification, of the purity of your expression. Whether that's simply in knowing that you aren't who you thought you were, the relations were expressions, they were experiences, they were not the final outcome. Balancing perception of power. The ways in which we find a give and take dynamic with that energy through relationship with others and existence. Knowing the world will always give us form, reasons to bring spirit into being. And knowing that we pioneer our own expression, we can choose. We don't just have to wait for mommy and daddy to tell us, show us, beat us, whatever, into form. So as the world tightens up, it's going to create the tension necessary for people to find purity within themselves, and they'll stand in their truth, and some will stand out there and do the individuation process, trying to transform or fight whatever it is. Others will escape into the creation of a new dream. Knowing the world is worlding, you'll bridge it when the gap is met, naturally. And there's probably many other ways. As you can see, Mars in Gemini conjunct the MC with Ceres. Now the third dynamic in this little breakdown here is my current space and time. Questions posed. This is horary astrology, but I like to study things in reality, not in principles on paper and on websites and through others' perspectives. I have to understand